Hello, and welcome to the French Kiss Life podcast, all about living with more elegance, style, and joie de vivre in your everyday life. I'm Tonya Lee, your hostess. Let's get started. Hello, my friends. How are you? I'm doing great, in case you're wondering. I'm laughing because someone actually sent us an email and they said one of the things that we love about Tonya's podcast is that she giggles a lot. And I do. I'm a giggler. I don't know why. Even clients have commented that they love my style of coaching because it usually involves a giggle or two. But I personally think that we need to lighten up and we need to laugh more. I think humor can be one of the most healing things that we can offer to ourselves. So hopefully my giggle doesn't bother you too much, but it is what it is. Okay, so let's talk about today's topic, which is all about jealousy. Good times, right? But here's the thing. I want you to think about if jealousy can be beautiful, because the answer is yes, it can. So it wasn't that long ago, I met up with a friend of mine in New York to catch up over a cocktail at the Plaza. And within the first 5 minutes of our conversation, she flashed this huge, I'm talking ginormous, 4-carat canary diamond ring. And then she shouted, "Jason proposed." And then she went on to tell me that she was quitting her job to take care of their new mini mansion in Connecticut. And then she went on to tell me that they were getting married in Paris. In case you haven't figured it out now, Jason is filthy rich. Now, what may shock you is that I sat there feeling nothing but just pure joy for her. Not 1 ounce of jealousy. And I found this odd because I'm not above being jealous. I mean, come on. She seemed to have it all. Wedding in Paris, a huge wedding ring, a mansion in Connecticut, no more working, just hosting dinner parties and playing weekday tennis matches at the country club. But I was 100% happy for her. Why was that? As much as I'd love to tell you that I have some special powers or I've transcended jealousy or envy, that's actually not why. This is the typical Cinderella story that would make most women burst with envy. But the fairy tale that she had described, why wasn't I feeling some kind of envy? And it all comes down to this fact. I realized that this was not the life I craved. I personally love working and being financially independent. Big diamonds, they just don't do it for me. And I have no desire to live in a big house. I've been there and done that. And while this may seem cliche, I feel like I marry myself every year when I go to Paris. So I realized that I was actually very happy for her, not jealous. Understanding more about the life you desire really helps to eliminate unnecessary jealousy. But there was that one time. Actually, there's been many, but one time recently that comes to mind where I did feel a little pang of envy. This time also involved a meetup with a girlfriend. And this time jealousy reared its head when I least expected it. This is one of my best friends. And it was over morning coffee at our favorite little coffee shop when my friend Lisa pulled her wallet out of the most perfect spring handbag. I'm talking beautiful. It's a stunning handbag. And I felt this pang of envy in my stomach. Of course, I love my friend and I was happy that she had this handbag. In fact, I was the one who talked her into buying it for herself when we were in Paris. But underneath it all was some jealousy. Apparently, diamonds aren't my thing, but handbags are. So what do we do when jealousy strikes? I'm going to encourage us to look no further than a Parisian, because the French can make anything beautiful, including jealousy. I love how a French woman can take a jacket found at a vintage store that most would never consider buying, and with the right styling, she turns it into a stunning statement piece. They have a way of turning the ugly into something grand, including emotions that we have labeled as bad. So I was chatting with my friend Claudia, a French friend of mine, in Paris over coffee. And I'm just realizing there's like a theme here. I love having conversations paired with a good beverage, obviously, but nevertheless, the topic of jealousy came up, and I admitted to her that I hated the feeling of it. And she was like, "Why? It's a beautiful emotion." And I was like, what? Jealousy? It's beautiful. I was having a really hard time with this radical and I guess very French concept because for one, I didn't like who I was when I was acting jealous. Secondly, I didn't enjoy being on the receiving end of another person's envy, and I have been, probably like you. And we've all been taught that jealousy is the killer emotion, right? So to consider that jealousy could be beautiful just blew my mind. Now, here's where we get to start differentiating making jealousy a beautiful emotion and when it is really harmful. Because when we act out on the emotion, harboring resentment and fear towards another person, it's never a good thing. Making nasty comments on social media, creating unnecessary drama in relationships, and gossiping about others because your envy is unchecked, never a good idea. It's not only hurtful to others, but it's hurtful to you. But Claudia challenged me to rethink how I had been thinking about this emotion when she asked, what if jealousy could be beautiful? I had to know more. So jokingly, I asked Claudia if she was going to put some kind of French poetic spin on jealousy. And of course she did, because she replied to me dead serious. I adore feeling jealous. It makes my heart feel alive. I know I'm being pulled towards desire and longing. I was like, what the what? She didn't elaborate. And that's another thing I've noticed about the French. They just leave you hanging in the mystery of the question to figure it out on your own. So I was on a quest to see if I could uncover the gift in the pain of jealousy. So instead of fighting jealousy, as I often did for it only to show up more, I wanted to allow it to make my heart come alive, as Claudia had so romantically described. And this was very hard to do because I prided myself on not being a jealous person. I'd even want to admit to having jealousy. I've never been the possessive girlfriend or had the desire to drop a hate comment on anyone's post. But if we're all being honest here, and I hope we all will be, we all feel envy or jealousy at times. I used to feel extremely guilty for feeling it. I would think to myself, shouldn't I just be grateful for what I have? Shouldn't I stop comparing myself to others? Hey, I mentor women. Shouldn't I be over this by now? My answer to these questions isn't so black and white. Yes, life is so much better when you live in a state of gratitude and you keep your eyes on your own paper. But ladies, we need to lighten up on ourselves. We are simply human beings having very human emotions. Your power comes when you take those emotions and you use them to discover more about yourself and to dissolve whatever is holding you back. Feeling jealous does not make you a bad person. In fact, I think it makes you a very normal one. It's when you act out on jealousy and hurt others and yourself that it can be damaging. The key to seeing jealousy as the beautiful gift that it can be is to realize that it has absolutely nothing to do with the other person. It has everything to do with what you deeply desire and what's holding you back from creating it for yourself. If you're jealous of your husband, what feeling is being revealed to you that you need to create for yourself? If you're jealous of your friend's success, what is your soul longing for and what's stopping you from having it too? And here's a little hint. It will always be a thought or many thoughts in your head. When you use jealousy as your teacher, your guide, it can be the most wonderful emotion in the world. And today, I honestly get excited when I feel envy because I know my soul is trying to wake me up to a deep longing. So I challenge us to pop open the champagne and let's make a toast to jealousy. Because the moral of this story is jealousy is showing you the way. The people and things that evoke jealousy are simply holding the gift of showing you what you want. It's only damaging when you let it eat your heart out. But when you allow it to show you your deepest longings, you can use it to your advantage. Knowing exactly what you want, this is the most important step to begin creating an amazing and beautiful life. So it's time for you to get honest with yourself. When was the last time you felt envy? And what is it showing you that you want for yourself? Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you on the next podcast. Cheers.